BRUCAST is back, baby.
This BRUCAST episode is brought to you by the BRUCAST Store. Explore a store filled with awesome goodies from hoodies to t-shirts to mugs. We've got you covered. Stay in style with BRUCAST. Embrace the shock, set the trend. Visit now brew-cast.com/store. Link below.
Back with the fire, can't you see the flames? From Deutschland steps comes the BRUCAST name. Voices like thunder breaking all the chains. Unleash the fury like a runaway train.
Alright, hi everyone, welcome back to another BRUCAST episode. If it's your first time watching the show, make sure to like and subscribe. If you're listening to Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please rate the show 5 stars. This will ensure that the podcast recommends to even more people and allow me to keep doing what I love. BRUCAST also on Instagram, X, and TikTok, where I upload shorts with the highlights of the show. So follow now, BRUCAST on Instagram, X, and TikTok. Links in the description below. People of the internet, welcome back to another BRUCAST episode. Subscribe, like, and comment if you want to participate in our next giveaway. Yes, it's happening again. You guys keep liking, keep commenting, keep subscribing. We're going to keep doing the giveaways. The next giveaway is happening at the end of next month. That means July 2025. Yes, we're going to give away something from the BRUCAST store. Don't forget to check out the store. Buy from the BRUCAST store, but either way, if you do all of those things, comment, subscribe, and like, you're going to participate in our giveaway, and we're going to give away something in the BRUCAST store. It's a surprise. We don't know yet. Just stay tuned. All right. So, about today's guest, our guest today is Eric McHugh. Eric McHugh is a serial founder and ex-Snap technologist, blending AI, Web3, and spiritual growth. He's building tools like dating with AI matchmaking, Aces.fun, which is luxury asset markets, and HoloLabs, conscious investing. Focused on inner alignment and bold innovation, Eric helps people rethink creation, connection, and self-trust. All right, Eric, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing really well. Thank you for having me. I'm really grateful to be here, man.
Well, it's an honor. Thank you so much for being a part of BRUCAST. I'm going to be honest, it's the first time I hear the term serial founder.
Yeah.
So that means someone who is like founding one company after the other.
Yeah, no, it's a different path. I think it's a fun, enjoyable one. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's amazing. I took a look into your stuff. I saw the matchmaking thing. How does it work with AI? Because the traditional way that, like, I think most people know is just swipe. You're just swiping left and right. That's what they know. So how did you change things with AI?
Yeah, so that's really interesting. And I think the dating marketplace got wrecked by current dating apps and social media accounts. So if you look at the dating apps right now, there are 3 major problems. Well, the first, most dating apps are owned by Match.com, so there is somewhat of a monopoly in the space. But dating apps are like the top 5% of users get access to everyone on the apps, which creates like a skewed marketplace. Most dating apps, like you mentioned, are swipe left, swipe right based on looks, which isn't the best way to build a genuine connection. And the third issue is the most interesting one, in my opinion. It's the incentive structure behind the dating app. So, for example, if Tinder were to match a happy couple, what does this mean? That happy couple would then leave the dating app, resulting in the loss of a paying customer for Tinder. So they're reliant on something called churn marketing, essentially keeping someone on the Ferris wheel. So it's like down the app, delete the app, down the app, delete the app. That's all by incentive design, whereas dating is completely different. So the logic behind dating is, first off, I think people should meet in person. I think that's a great way to meet a potential couple, but most people are moving towards online dating because it removes barriers for rejection, meaning it's a lot easier to swipe left or swipe right than go up to a girl in person and talk to her. So if that's the direction people are going in, we want to give people a different option. So what dating is, it's the first ever AI-powered matchmaking service. And what we do is we auto-generate dating profiles and matches based on a user's digital footprint and their chat history with Cupid, who is our AI. So for example, Bruno, if you were to, I got that right. If you were to make a profile, well, first off, if you were to move to America and make a profile on dating, you would link your social media accounts, you'd link your photos, you'd link your Pinterest, you'd link your YouTube, you chat with Cupid, you tell what you're into, you tell what you like, what you're looking for. And then on the back end, it would create a bunch of traits for you. So like hashtag into podcasting, 0.9 correlation because he runs a podcast, 0.6 correlation into biking, 0.7 correlation to metal, 0.4 correlation into like Indian food. And it creates a giant list up of that. And then it would generate matches based on your traits and compatibility with other people's traits. So like, let's say you're really into Indian food, it can match you with someone who's into Japanese food, or you're into biking, it can match you with a runner. And why this is important is because AI, it's really good at two things. It's really good at pattern recognition at scale and analyzing large sets of data. So for example, I said a person, you could like Indian food, it matches you with someone who likes Japanese food or Japanese anime. That may not make sense to us as humans, but let's say throughout all the users, all the interactions, it notices that trend that we would miss and it can match based on that. So its matchmaking is much more accurate. And the cool thing is it's always updating. It's always updating too. So the more you chat with Cupid, the more you update your social profiles. It's constantly updating your profile with what you're interested in. And I would say the big differentiator, honestly, dude, is what happens after the match. After the match, it can switch to a relationship butler. So like, let's say I get 3 matches, Ashley, Kimberly, Jane. It's like, okay, Jane seems cool. I get an AI description of her. She's like, okay, this is why you'd be a good match. I learn more about Jane. It's like, hey, she connected to Apple Music. This one artist you both follow has a concert coming up in 3 weeks. That could be a first date with Jane. We go on that date, we fall in love, we get married, and then it can help us throughout a whole relationship cycle. So like, let's say it's like 3 years down the line. It's like, hey, you guys haven't been on a date in 2 weeks or 2 months or whatever the case. The place you had your second date has half off ice cream, or this new pop-up shop could be fun for you. Or it's like her birthday's coming up. You just added this thing on Pinterest. That could be a good gift. And it can also ask for relationship advice. So like, hey, we're having this particular issue. How would you recommend we solve this? And this is actually a pretty cool feature that was kind of random. So it turns out dating is the most personalized AI chat assistant on the market, because I'm sure you've seen people ask like ChatGPT, what should I do in this situation? Like take a screenshot of a text message, like how should I respond? And then people are using that. But the issue with that is AI like that is simply a mirror of yourself. So if we were having an issue, like, okay, Bruno said this, what did he mean by this? And it will give me an answer, but it would give me an answer based on what it knows about me, because I'm the one feeding it the information. And I would get my answer like, oh, of course that's a great answer, because it's really just my answer repackaged. Whereas dating, if we were having that issue between me and you, we would ask the Cupid chat, and it would give us an answer based on both of our footprints. So your social footprint and my social footprint and our chat histories, it would generate an answer that serves us both rather than just one party.
Wow. Yeah, and that's very smart, because by having all of those other features that are not present on ChatGPT, you kind of keep the user, I don't want to say hooked, but he just won't delete the app. Like he has a reason to come back to the app, which for you as a developer is important.
Yes, we are trying to make it. I mean, like, reality is we want to make a sticky app, and if we're making a sticky app, we want it to add value to the users. And the cool thing about ChatGPT is you can think of dating as a layer. I don't know if you're involved in cryptocurrency, but there are things called layer 2s, which are a solution on top of a layer 1 solution. So dating is like a layer 2 of ChatGPT. So we get all the benefits of ChatGPT. So when they improve their systems, we get all the benefits. We just have that personalized layer on top. And if some other system becomes more efficient or better than ChatGPT, like DeepSeek or anything else that comes up in the future, we do have the ability to migrate over while keeping all the user profiles. So it's definitely built to last. And the cool thing is too, like the dating, I viewed as like the logic behind it is like, I think human relationships are overall very important for human happiness. And I think you believe so too, because you're making a podcast for people.
Yeah.
But I think apps and social media have pushed that in the wrong direction. So long term too, this could be like a matchmaking app for friends or like-minded communities. Like, let's say we were to meet in person for the first time, like in England. Why would we meet in England? I don't know. But like, yeah, meeting Bruno for the first time, what should we do in England? And it can give us suggestions to become friends and talking points. Or it's like, hey, I'm new to this city. I need to find 5 guys in my local area who are into Muay Thai meditation. Fantastic. We're talking with colleges right now. It's like, hey, maybe you want to try this as a way to match potential dorm mates, because, you know, like that's important for a freshman. Like you get a random dorm mate, may not be the best fit, but if you can match them with a good dorm mate, their college experience will be better. And like, same with employees, same with anyone. So it's really just a connecting up.
Did you see this dude, this guy, he somehow linked Tinder, Tinder specifically to, one second, I I don't feel like my sound is high enough. Let me try to do something here. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fix that now, but let me maybe remove this. I think that's a little bit better. So I saw this guy. He connected Tinder specifically to some type of AI. I would say that is ChatGPT. Have you seen that? And he had the AI answer all the girls. He didn't set a word to any of them, and he got a bunch of dates like that. Of course, now he has to go on all of those dates, and like the personality that the AI uses is not his real personality, so he now has a problem. You know, he in one hand he got a bunch of dates, in the other hand, like it's not him who is actually going. Like the girls are expecting a different type of person on the date.
And on top of that, you can see my screen, right? I'll just show you a conversation I had yesterday, actually, with a dating app I'm on for competitor research. Like, if you see that, like, there's this girl, real person. Her first question is, "Hey, Eric, are you by chance an AI?" So, like people, the guys who did that took advantage of it first, are getting a bunch of dates, but now the table is turning, and they're actually getting the girls on the other side are getting aware of this. Like, oh, is this like a GBT? Is this all this stuff?
Many guys are doing that. I thought it was just a single event.
No, I think people are trying to do it, and I don't think it works that well in the sense because the point of dating and the point of dating apps in general, which people forget, is the point of a dating app is to meet the person in real life. So if you're completely and my friend does this too, like he's all obsessed with it. He's like, oh, I'm gonna run everything through GBT, and then like he goes on the dates, and then they don't work because they don't like him. We're like, yes, Brian, they aren't working because you're not being real. So they meet you like, okay, it's not some 6-foot Chad. It's just like some 5'7" Asian dude. It's like, well, of course it's not working, right? It's like, why is it not working? I'm getting the matches. Like, all right, well, you need to work on that. But the whole point of a dating app and the whole point of dating is to actually get in person and determine if that connection is real in person. Because like you can chat for hours online via DMs, but that really isn't going anywhere. It was like dating. The whole point is to put people in the position to succeed in the dating app marketplace. Because if you're spending time either talking to a bot, which is a big problem on Tinder, because there are tons of girl bots too, and as girls are really, oh no, it's a huge problem where like a lot of the apps are bots, or a lot of the users are bots. Because like, dude, I could take a picture of your screenshot right now, run it through a script. I can create like 50 profile pictures of you and just pretend to be you. And obviously, I'm not sure why I would do that for you, but imagine like creating a bot for a hot girl to sell some stuff.
But she's selling stuff. That's the point.
So a lot of people are creating accounts to funnel people off to like their OnlyFans or stuff like that.
Oh my god.
And they're getting pretty good too. And the thing is like and this creates a problem too. It's like imagine you're on a dating app, your guys are kind of get wrecked on the dating apps, but like you spend all this time talking to a bot and you're just like, well, fuck this is terrible. And then on top of that, it's opportunity cost. You're spending time on a bot and you're not even talking to the right person who could be your potential match. So is that, but it goes back to dating. It's like the whole point of dating is to put you in a position to meet in real life where you can succeed. So for example, like when I said like, okay, you guys matched because you had that one artist in common and it suggested the date based on that. Let's say it didn't directly the date based on that. It's still matched because of that. So that could come up in conversations like, hey, do you like this artist? Yeah, I happen to love this artist. And dating matched you because of that, but the two users don't know. It's like, hey, it matched you because you're both physically active, and creates a narrative around that. It's like it doesn't directly say that, but the match in the back end is still there.
When it comes to dating, the app that you developed, from what I understand, like it uses AI to find common interests and match people together, which sounds very, very, very good. I got that correct, right?
Partially. So it starts off with common interests. Like it'll give you a nice detailed summary of you, and then give you, okay, they're into this based on, like, for example, the more I talk to dating, the more it learns about me, the more it gets better at matching me. So for example, if I'm into see people like the opposite of me, like maybe I'm an active runner and I want to match with someone who's more sedimentary, so it can kind of balance each other out. It'll pick up on that and be like, okay, well, this guy's a runner, but he likes this person because she's sedimentary. And then it'll pick up on that and start adjusting its algorithm based on an individual basis for me. So that's happening individually for me, but it's also happening across platform too. So like, let's say you're doing the same thing. It's picking up what you like, what you're into. Yes, it's customizing it for you, but it'll notice similarities between me and you. It's like, okay, whatever, for whatever reason, people who wear black shirts always go well with people who wear green shirts. And like, that doesn't make any sense, but for whatever reason, the data shows that these matches kind of work, and then it can play off of that. So it's the cool thing is right now at this very second, it's the worst it's ever going to be it's only getting smarter and smarter and better. The more interactions it has, the more users it has.
Would you say that by doing that, you're kind of reducing the amount of like the pool of candidates that this person could be presented to? Don't you see that as a problem?
Partially. So in the way we structured our system is you can see as many candidates as you want. I mean, I was outvoted on this actually. I wanted to limit the amount of candidates you have because I think people should spend more time on the specific candidate instead of swiping left, swipe right 100 times. It's like, okay, maybe I see 10 people, but I ask AI or ask Cupid, tell me more about this person. And I dive into that person more. And it kind of equates the match too, because I think a big problem with the dating apps, and honestly mainly on the girl side, is like any chick like has like hundreds of matches on the dating apps, so just can't choose. Whereas like this one, it's like, okay, you're matched with more someone who you're actually interested in. And the cool thing about dating app is it's good at highlighting the positive aspects of the user, mainly for the guys. Because let's be real, a lot of guys can't present themselves on dating apps. So like, for example, I could be really into Legos. I post about Legos all the time. I don't know any chicks who would find that attractive, but whatever. It could spin it in a way saying, okay, he's really good into Legos. He won this tournament. It shows dedication. It shows organizational features. It's could be good if you're looking to build a family with this type of person. Here's why. So it can help spin and put people in a more positive light. So I think that's a cool feature.
Yeah, it is. It is. What I was wondering is like, you might be missing the opportunity to meet that goth girl, you know, eventually here and there, a goth girl is in your life. It's exciting. But as you mentioned, like, I guess you have the option to see everyone if you want.
Yeah. I mean, we all love. I think we all love the little goth girl phase. We're just like goths are. And if you're going to get back into it, just like keep it. I'm looking for a goth girl. Here's why I'm looking for the more. Obviously, that's like with AI, the better you prompt it, the better it is. So like I could say, hey, I'm looking for a goth girl. Great, I'll start looking for goth girls, and I can start presenting me with matches with goth girls. Hey, I'm looking for a goth girl because of this, because X, Y, Z, and then it'll update my profile, and then it could hopefully feed me that goth girl. And the cool thing is, like, our AI app can hyper target industries like that. So, like, for example, and I've done this with anime because I like anime, it's my thing. So I'm just creating like anime-based ads for the anime community, and they're eating it up, and they're loving the app, and they're matching with other anime fanatics. But you could easily do that with goth girls. You could do the college students. You could do it with any marketplace. We do need more goth. We do need more goth girls on the app, though. Like, honestly.
Oh man, I'm talking about goth girls. So I come from Brazil, right?
Yeah.
There's this mayor from a city in Brazil. The city is called Sorocaba, and the thing is, the mayor is like Instagram star. He created this Instagram, and I think he just doesn't do mayor stuff anymore. He's just all the time posts on Instagram, but it's working. It's working. He has like catchphrases. Come to Sorocaba, the best city in Brazil. So now he's doing this new series on Instagram, which is come to Sorocaba, the best city in Brazil. We have the goth girls. And
actually, honestly, dude, that's hilarious. That's good. I would have never guessed it too. It's like, who would have guessed that there's the goth girls in Brazil?
Yeah. Oh man, let me see if I find it. I want to show it. And that's his thing. And I don't think is the camera working? I think we're lagging. 1 second. I think we're back. We're back. So, goth girls, góticas. I need to write in Brazil, góticas, Sorocaba. And that's all his thing. Come to Sorocaba, this goth girl. Let's see. Maybe this one.
Cadê as góticas, prefeito? Chegaram aqui as góticas da cidade de Sorocaba para participar da patinação no gelo. E você também pode vir participar com a sua família durante a semana, no período da noite, o final de semana, o dia todo. Anyway,
that's it. He's just screaming, the goths are here, the goth girls. And then they're like ice skating or waiting for the buzz, and that's it.
Honestly, dude, that's hilarious, and it's a great marketing campaign.
It's working. I'm in Germany. I'm hooked, you know.
And we're talking about it now on a podcast that's going to get shared to a bunch of people, so it's going to spread. So clearly, it's working. And now I know what the city is, and I kind of want to go.
Well, talking about goth girls in general, like because you do have like a dating app. What's the percentage of not of goth girls, but of women versus men? Would you say?
60-40. women 60, 40 men. And we can, the cool thing about our app is if we wanted to, I can get a data report, like not at the moment because it does
Really?
take some back and work, but I can get a data report of exactly like the percentage of tags. So we have a large giant database of tags, and we can find the exact percent of goth girls. We can find the exact percent of goth girls who like Indian food, the exact percent of goth girls who aren't into food. And the reason we're skewed towards the woman side versus men is men are easier to get, so we're obviously
Yeah.
spending our effort trying to get the woman, and then the men just naturally come. Oh, because obviously, if we were just going to blast out marketing and be like a bunch of dudes on the app looking for those goth girls, which the mayor has figured out. He's figured out the secret sauce. It's like he knows that he's mad at the people. He knows what the people want. I'm wishing him the best now. Honestly, it's hilarious.
Oh man, yeah. I've been to Sorocaba a couple of times, and it's a great city. But it was before the Golf Girls. I need to go back.
Are they actually there?
I just showed it to you.
I saw them. Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably like actresses. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Still.
Still, it's cool. It's fun. So, I wanted to ask you, Eric, for how long have you been doing that, the dating app? The reason I'm asking is because I recently saw this study saying that what was it again? Oh man, I forgot. Was that more and more? I don't think you actually. Let me rephrase my question because I don't think you can see that in your dating app. The study that I saw is that for the past few years, more and more women are waiting more to get married, are waiting more to have kids, and they are just dating even more high class men, like the middle, because we have like those different tiers, right? We have the upper class
Yeah.
and the middle class, the lower class. Apparently, the middle class one, that's a study that I saw. Now I remember, the middle class people are just not getting married anymore, while the upper class are still getting married. So I don't think there's no way you can see any type of those things with your app, right?
I don't know. Eventually we could be able to, like, the app is new. So to answer your question, we've been working on it for about 2 years on the back end, but it's been live for about 3 months. Once the app is live, and
Mm.
for those questions, we would be able to see that data and see if we could actually match issues, or like we could be like, okay, because again, the more social accounts you link, the more it's going to know about you. So if you link your LinkedIn, eventually we may integrate some financial data to get that in. So if we have those two pieces of information, we could tell exactly who's matching, who's getting married. So that's something we'll be able to tell. And I've heard of that studies where people are just they're waiting and waiting to get married, and I think that's a issue with just the overall just world, in the sense things are more and more expensive. Like 20 years ago, like my parents could buy a house on like a single salary job and just chill and be happy, whereas like where I'm from, it's simply not the case. So now both parties are having to work, and they're putting off their love life because you're focused on their careers. And also like college too, like a lot of people are going to college, which is reducing the marriage rate, because most before, people, whether it's good or bad, people used to get married prior to college and just kind of start their families early. But now people are prioritizing careers. But yeah, I can see that. And another study I've seen too, which we're trying to solve, is like, it's like the top picture, like a row of girls and guys, where it's like with dating apps, the top, all the girls from like like if you scale them between 1 and 10, like 20% up, they're going for the top 2%, top 20% of guys. So now the top 20% of guys are experiencing abundance, not dating, they're not getting the relationships, and then the bottom tier guys, they're just not getting anything. So for example, a lot of guys are simply invisible on the dating apps because of that. And obviously these guys aren't happy. The girls who are going for the top 20% of guys, they're not getting serious relationships, so they're not happy. So it's creating a place where, I don't know, people just aren't happy in the dating marketplace, which is resulting in less marriage. And so the cool thing about our dating app, and I can't talk about it, people can find whatever they're looking for. Like if you want to be in a poly relationship, if you want to be in a single relationship, if you want to be friends with benefits, it can find that for you. But me personally, I think the family unit is extremely important for at least my personal happiness and overall world happiness. And we can help put together families that succeed. That's my main mission. So like the reason I'm so into dating is I want to leave a positive impact on the world. And if we were to match, so like I mentioned earlier, like it matches you based on the back end of what you're actually looking for, so you're compatible. If we're able to match one couple who's really compatible that wouldn't have met in real life, and then they have a kid, that's a very long lasting positive impact for one couple and one kid. And if we do that at scale, I think that helps a lot of people. while, and again, like, again, people have their lifestyles, no judgment. Like, I personally wouldn't be into, but like, so we can do that while simultaneously serving like the, I guess, poly people or the gay people or whatever. Like, who cares? So like, we focus on the main goal, and they can do their thing and match.
Yeah. But I mean, you're right. Like, if people are getting pregnant and having kids and fulfilling lives and families because of your app, I guess this is like, it's life changing stuff, man. That's really impactful. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's a good. I assume it's a good feeling. But yeah. I had a guest the other day on the podcast. His name is Andre Paradis. The guy is amazing. He used to be a professional dancer with Michael Jackson, of all
Oh,
people. Yeah, yeah.
that's sick. That's so cool.
He was like buddies with Michael Jackson back in the days. Obviously, Michael Jackson died.
Yeah.
That's
RIP.
I'm laughing, but it's because I'm nervous. It's not funny. And the thing is, nowadays, 2025, he's specialized in coaching. He's a coaching specialist. And one of the things he said on air is like, Bruno, after years of studying this topic and like, I'm doing this professionally, Bruno. I know for a fact, that's not an opinion, it's a fact. Traditional works best. If you want to have a family, if you have a long-term, healthy, fulfilling. I don't want to misquote you, Andres. So don't quote me on that. But generally speaking, it was like traditional work best. If you want to have a long-term healthy relationship, man, woman, that's it. Marriage, that's it. Like all the other stuff is just asking for a headache.
One, I agree with him 1000%. And again, like, I'm gonna know. I don't like to judge people, but at the same point in time, it's like this whole experiment with like multiple partners, like more gay people, more trans people, more everything, more experimentation, more sexual freedom. Like, this is completely new. Like, this came up in the past 100 years, whereas the traditional family unit, it's what brought humanity to where we're at today. And I think it's from a conspiracy side, it's like, I think that's by design. I think the governments are trying to weaken the family unit to gain power, but I think we're all better off if we have a good family unit, because that's really the base. That's the base of society. Because like, think about like a base of a child's growing up is the family. So the base is the family, and this results in if a good family is surrounded by other good families, that creates a good town. If that town of good families is surrounded by other good towns, that creates a good city, and just kind of spreads outward from there. But the base is, I think, the family. And again, the family knows best what's for the kid. Like, the mother and father, the most incentivized to take the most care of the kid, creating the best situation for the kid, which trickles down. So like, I agree with Andrea. I think family is extremely important, and I've been very fortunate to have a family and like been grown up in like a nice family house with like a loving mother, a loving father, playing sports, and it was wonderful. And then I have friends who are divorced, and I just know their situation was simply just not it wasn't as ideal as mine, coming from I guess a more nuclear family.
I see. Yeah. I'm not just for the record, guys. I'm not saying that I agree with Andre or just relying on what he said. I don't have anything against the gay and the non-binary. I don't care as long as you guys are happy. I'm just relying the information he conveyed to me on the show. But while we're on the topic, I remember, Eric, a few years ago I saw this study where they claimed that boys who grow up without a father were more likely to commit crimes, and their height, like their physical height, they wouldn't be as tall as they could for some reason. I don't know. It's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah, I mean, the crimes thing does make sense to me logically, because again, like, the father is not to say like a mother can't do it, but the father is generally the disciplinary role, where the mother is generally the nurturing role. So like, if a kid were to be acting up and start down because like committing crimes and stuff, it's more of a path. The kid generally won't start off committing crimes. It's more just like a bunch of series of small actions that lead him down that path. And I would say the father is better to discipline that, where the height thing, I don't know, that I guess that kind of makes sense, where it's like,
Does it? I don't know though. It isn't that genetics.
it depends if you believe in the sense, like, if you believe your thoughts create your reality. Like, if you're around like 5 tall people, I think And genetics too, but like genetics have some part to play. But I believe I grew up around 5 tall people around me my whole life, and I kept everything else the same. That was the only thing that changed. And I grew up around 5 short people. I think the me that grew up around 5 tall people would be slightly taller because I'm thinking this is coming from a spiritual perspective where I think your thoughts do create your reality. So if I'm around 5 tall people the whole time, I'm thinking about tall, tall, tall. Me being tall is natural. Tall is a natural thing. I'm thinking about being tall. Subconsciously thinking about tall. I think my body would react to becoming actually taller. But again, that's just me talking. There's no real proof from that. So I guess I don't know. It can be diet too. Like you never know. Like if you're a father, you're more likely to get your son into sports and all that stuff, which could genetically or biologically result in a taller child.
Yeah.
But that's interesting, dude. I don't know.
I found something. Let me share the screen real quick. Does growing up without a father affect a boy? Emotional impact. Boys may experience feelings of abandonment or low self-esteem due to the absence of a father figure. Role models. A father figure often serves as a role model. Social development. Some studies suggest that children without father figures may struggle with social skills or engage in riskier behaviors. Yeah, I guess subconsciously they're trying to get some type of approval by engaging in those riskier behaviors, some type of approval, social approval that they did not got because their parent, the father figure was not present. I don't know, man. I think we're going too much
Yeah.
into psychology here.
Yeah, we probably don't know what we're talking about. Some of us actual psychologists probably listening to this, like, these guys, what are they doing?
What you did say, you have an opinion on. You said that the government is probably actively trying to endanger the family, the family, like the social norm. What was that?
I think so. So if you think about it logically, I'm going to speak from the United States perspective because that's where I live. If I'm the government, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to gain as much power as I can, power and money, and then I kind of share with my friends. This is a big reason I got so into cryptocurrency too. So if I want to gain power, what's the easiest way for me to gain power? It's to separate the mother and father and have people more dependent on the government. So for example, if you grew up in a single family with a mother and a son, you're more likely to be more dependent on the government. Whereas if you grew up with a father too. So instead of looking up to the father and learning from the father and the mother, you're learning from the government. So that could be some sort of indoctrination system.
Whoa, that kind of makes sense because
Yeah,
I mean, by making everyone more reliable on the government, you're just giving more power to them.
correct. And then they use that power to grow. So like from a cryptocurrency perspective, this is why I actually got so into Bitcoin. So like there are two ways I think money is a neutral thing. So I think you can make lots of money and help a lot of people. I think that's great, but you can also make a lot of money in bad ways and that karma comes back to get you. But let's say hypothetically, I want to make a bunch of money in the United States without producing any value for other people. What's the easiest way for me to do this? The easiest way for me to do this is to position myself right next to the United States Federal Reserve. And whenever they print money, I extract as much as I can from the Federal Reserve. And this in turn just kind of it steals from everyone, like every single person. So every time like a politician takes money from the Federal Reserve and funds his own thing or sends it back to through contracts to their friends and defense, that's making all of us as a society a bit poorer and more dependent on the government. But if I'm next to the Federal Reserve, what does this mean? It means I'm in a position of power, and if I have access to unlimited money supply, like let's say I'm the politician who has access to the money supply, and you're a good guy, you're trying to run against me because I'm corrupt in whatever the case. You won't be able to beat me just because I have unlimited money supply. So I beat you because I'm just throwing money, throwing TV, throwing ads at the people. They vote for me, and then what do I do with this? I bring on two of my other corrupt friends and bring them up with me, and now we're all on the teat of the Federal Reserve, and this creates a system of corruption from the top down. So in the United States, the higher a politician is, the more likely they are to be corrupt for that reason. Because like again, if you're running for local mayor, like that mayor guy, low-key, he seemed like a good dude. He seemed chill. Like I mean, he's funny. Like the guy thing was great. So I think he's a good person, but like there's not that much money going into a local mayoral race in Brazil. But like let's say you're running for like Senate of California's 2-person seat, you would need massive funding, generally coming from sources that aren't the best, that don't have the best interests of the people at heart to win that race. So I think it creates a system. Whereas in Bitcoin, like the only way to make money is, so if I'm to get rich in a Bitcoin system, how do I get rich? I have to create something of value for you, and then you send me your Bitcoin. So if I want to get as much Bitcoin as I want, because I want to get rich, because I think money can provide freedom, it can provide support for your family, which is a good thing. So if I want to get as much Bitcoin as I want, I have to produce something of value that scales up to a lot of people, because that's the best way for me to get rich in a Bitcoin or value creation centered system.
I mean, that's also how you produce value outside of Bitcoin, right? You just create something people want. I think the rules are the same, isn't it?
For everyone else, yes and no. But in the terms of like I said earlier, the Federal Reserve, if the Fed were to print $10 billion and give it to me, that isn't creating value for anyone. Whereas in the Bitcoin system, they can't do that. So I'd have to create something that generates $10 billion worth of value for people that they voluntarily choose to buy.
I see. Yeah. And also when you're dealing with Bitcoin, there's none of this fuckery that the credit card companies do, right? Every time that you swipe your card, they get, I don't know, a certain percentage.
Oh, okay.
The money keeps like losing value. Every time that you use your card, like the card company's getting a part of it. So there's none of that with Bitcoin, right?
There is a small transaction fee, but it's not the high percentage of it's like a fraction of a percent compared to the actual credit card companies. Don't get me started on credit card companies, but yeah, they're a whole other thing. Because again, like if you go back to incentives too, where it's like the dating app, the dating I think is better because incentives align. We're incentivized to create a user match, because I think incentives are extremely important when you're looking at human behavior. Because if you know someone's incentive, then you can kind of tell their actions. Like Tinder, it's designed to keep people on the app because that's how they make their money. So that's why people don't really succeed, because if they succeed, they leave the app. Dating, it's designed to be that relationship builder after the match is made. So we're incentivized to create matches where people can actually meet and then use our services after. The credit card companies, they're incentivized to keep people in debt because that's how they make their money, which probably isn't good for me and you. The governments are incentivized to keep their power, because in the United States, a lot of them are just making tons of money on the back with our rich. And how do they keep their power? They don't exactly play fair.
It's funny. I have a bunch. I had a couple of guests in the past who are also really into Bitcoin. It seems like those who understand it and use it, are like they really promote it. But the thing is, I don't know where do you use it, Eric? I don't see Bitcoin. What did you buy with Bitcoin? Like, I don't, like, in my day-to-day life. I never, like, let's say the general, like the standard person going throughout their day-to-day life. They go to the bakery, they go to the supermarket, they might go to a restaurant from time to time, they go to the media market here in Germany, buy like a TV from time to Amazon. Like, none of those places accept Bitcoin. So where would it be valuable?
Yeah, no, dude, you're 100% right. And don't get me wrong, Bitcoin has its own share of problems too. And if you say Bitcoin is the perfect thing, you're lying or you're delusional. And I don't think people are ready to use Bitcoin yet. And there are two main reasons cryptocurrency hasn't been massively adopted. The first is the incentive structure. It's like, why, like you said, why would I use Bitcoin? My dollars work fine. Like, okay, that's great. Like a small percentage of people are hodling their Bitcoin, they're being annoying about, they're being loud. That's good for you, but I have no incentive to really use that. And that's where companies I've built that have tried to solve that problem too, like attaching e-commerce benefits to a cryptocurrency product for that example. But the big reason Bitcoin is not usable is just simply the UI is not good. Like, for example, if you wanted to spend Bitcoin now, how would you do that? I don't know. Yeah, like, and I can't have my mom figure that out. I mean, even if you did know, like, I could figure it out. I'm sure you could figure it out. I can't have my grandma interacting with that user interface. Like, I can't have my grandma downloading a wallet, writing down a password, just sending Bitcoin, can't get the refund. So there's a lot of work that has to be done. But right now it's just kind of functioning as gold. In the future, if it functions as gold, I think that adds enough value, because that adds that checks and balances. Whereas like it would stop the unlimited money printing. Whereas if, like, imagine like when the United States was on a gold standard, you just couldn't print money en masse because it had to be a 1-to-1 tie. And what does this result in? It results in a lot less war, because you can't just fund war without credit or debt because it's just so expensive. I think it results in a more peaceful society. Bitcoin is still a child. I would say if we're in an age, like Bitcoin's probably like 4 years old, and it's starting to become something like people are already talking about. People are like, institutions already get into it, but it has a lot of work to do. A lot of tech improvements have to work. And just like any technology, for cryptocurrency to be long-term successful, I have to be using it without me using it. So like, for example, I need to take out my phone, or I have a credit card, take out my phone, I have Bitcoin in my wallet, I scan it at the local merchant, they get paid in Bitcoin on the back end, and then they get Bitcoin balls in there, but neither of us know it's actually happening. And then it would probably go to Chase, and then the money would deposit into their Chase account, but just like a currency backed on either Bitcoin or a digital peg.
Wasn't there a scammer who actually promoted exactly that? He was like, "Guys, I have this new brand, new innovative idea. We're gonna release our whatever scammer card. I don't remember his name, and it's gonna work exactly like you said. Everything's working with Bitcoin in the background, but you don't need to worry about it. All the conversions happen instantly. You don't need to worry about." And the whole thing sounds amazing. He got a lot of money for his idea, but it was a scam.
No, that makes sense, because honestly, the cryptocurrency space is so scam, it's so ridden by scams. That's also inherent to adoptions. Like, I can't send my mom, or I can't send my brother. Like, I would never send my mother to a cryptocurrency project that I'm not particularly part of, because of the fear of scammers. And that's just that's just the natural projection of the path of technology as it seeps into mainstream adoption. Like, for example, Bitcoin started on the dark web because they're the people that actually use it, whether they use it for good stuff or bad stuff. It's like they're the first to adopt the technology, and then it kind of leaks upward. The thing about the scamming Bitcoin thing is it is a public ledger. So if I wanted to, I could actually trace all those transactions. So if I wanted to spend the time and technology to see where all the money's going, I could. But yeah, no, like, I could see there's probably plenty of scammers like that, and a lot of projects are scams and just don't really do anything.
Yeah, but it's kind of stupid though, because they got so much money because the idea was good. I bet if they actually implemented their idea and went through with what they're promoting, like, they would be rich. They would make more money than the actual scam. So
So there are two types of builders in the space, in the cryptocurrency space. And this is more specific to cryptocurrency as a whole, just because it's hard to. No, people do it in the real world too. Like, look at Theranos, or look at any of the scam companies that actually break out. But like, so for example, in the cryptocurrency space, they raised a bunch of money, and they had two options. They could either build a project like they said, or dip out and chill on a beach. And it looks like they chose the beach option, which is a shame, honestly. But they probably had that plan from the start.
yeah.
Which is it's kind of annoying, but again, life goes on. Cryptocurrency and AI, for that matter, too, are two similar things. Like, it's a new technology. There are a bunch of dumb projects. There are a bunch of scam projects. But as the space matures, those kind of get weeded out over time and becomes more and more sustainable. So it's just a function of it just being new, and there's not that much regulation going on. So a bunch of people are trying a bunch of stuff. Some people are trying scams. Some people are trying real projects. Sometimes the real projects fail, and people think that they're scams because they failed, but no, they just failed normally. And the thing with cryptocurrency is, like, again, like, it's all, the thing about cryptocurrency, it comes with ownership, meaning, like, if I own the Bitcoin I have, it's mine. No one can take it away from me. But because no one can take it away from me, that means if I send it, like, if I were to accidentally send you my Bitcoin, I can't get it back from you because it's your Bitcoin. So that just incentivizes more scammers to come. And so one of my past companies was a NFT as a service based, meaning, like, local brand, you purchase an NFT, which is a cryptocurrency project, and it's a lifelong membership pass. So there's, like, e-commerce benefits, like discounts, exclusive products, free drops to that. So, like, think about like a hat, where it's like, okay, there's a limited amount of hats. They produce the hat, bots would come in, purchase it in a second. The actual customer wouldn't get that. But with the NFT pass, you would need the cryptocurrency product to scan to get the hat to ensure that you actually owned it. And then we've noticed that within those brand communities, a bunch of scammers would rotate to that. Because, like, think about, like, it's a Web2 brand. Like, 500 people purchase the NFT crypto project because they want the benefits for the hat. They're not necessarily well versed in the crypto space. So, like, scammers are like, oh, let me join their community and try to scam people out of their product. I'm just like, oh, that kind of sucks. Don't do that. But it's mature, and I think it's going to get less and less scammy.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we don't know. We'll find out, right?
We definitely will find out. Yeah. I would say the internet, I mean,
For a bit, then you came back.
I think we lost connection. Oh, I think we're back. Let's 1 second, guys. I'm so sorry, Eric. Let me see if the show. 1 second, guys. guys, we lost connection for a split second, but we're back. So we were talking about how new the internet. Of course, this is a perspective thing, right? If you ask someone who was born yesterday, like no. But for humanity, as a role. Oh my God! 1 second. I'm having so many problems today.
That's fine.
You're. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I think we're good. So, yeah, I said it what I wanted to say. The internet perspective, yeah, that's about it. Don't you agree? Like, if you take other technologies, for example, the car, it had way more time to mature and evolve, and I think the internet didn't change much since the beginning, and I feel like we're still gonna see a lot of stuff. AI being one of the main ones of them. I saw someone saying that in 5 years, 10 years from now, people will find you crazy for still be using Google. Like what you're saying, you need to type something and go through 10 different pages to look for the thing you're looking for. No, just ask AI, just ask the ChatGPT. I think there's still many changes to come.
No, and I think you're right. And like you said, the internet is new. And the cool thing is the reason AI and cryptocurrency are progressing so faster is because the first stage of the internet was establishing the hardware. So everyone needed to get the computer. Everyone needed a lot of stuff. And now that most people have that, they have their phone, those rails are built for AI and cryptocurrency to go faster. I think AI honestly is the future. I think it's a way, and it's a neutral technology in my opinion. People can use technology, like I can use a knife for good things or bad things. It's me up to the user. I think the same thing applies for AI. I think in the best use case that AI is a way for me to leverage my natural talents to better serve the world. Because like I said, if we're in a value creation society, how do I make money? I provide value for people, and AI is a great way for me to do that. And I think like this is part of the reason I'm on podcasts is the main reason I'm on podcasts like yours is, hey, you meet cool people. But I think if one person leaves this podcast in a slightly higher vibe, they go out in the world and they raise the vibe around them and raise the vibe around them and raise the vibe around them, which is, I think, positive. But from a business perspective, I agree. So I don't view our audience as just me, the people I share with, or the people you share with. It's also the AI bots who are transcribing this whole conversation on all platforms you listen to. So when people in the future search up, who is Eric McHugh? Who is Bruno? This will be part of the equation that they use to spit out an answer. So like, I think it's be a very interesting future. And I think, there's a bunch of AI stuff coming up right now. So right now we're in the phase of video AI and coming up for business SaaS platforms. So I'm sure you'll see a bunch of like, oh, turn this video into an AI video or turn this. So that's where people seem to be experimenting right now.
Hollywood's cooked. I mean, they already kind of playing. Everything in Hollywood is already kind of a gamble, right? Every project's a gamble. That's how I see it, at least. Either they make millions or they lose millions. And I think it's just gonna get worse for them.
Oh yeah, no, imagine this. Like, I'm a big comic book fan. Like, I like Batman, I like manga, I love anime. So imagine instead of waiting for let's use Infinity Wars because I like that movie. I thought it was really well made.
Which one?
Instead of Infinity Wars, Marvel.
Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, they actually crushed it with that. But like, let's say instead of waiting for don't get me wrong, I love the lead up to Infinity Wars Part 2, but instead of waiting for the Part 2 Infinity Wars, what I could do is I can literally just plug in the comic books and tell them to create a comic book solely based on the writing of Stan Lee. So that means two things. I can watch it based on my own time preference, but it also leaves room for it's from what the author actually wanted, not like their interpretation. So I think that's cool. And I think what's going to be crazy is when it's going to know me so well, and this is where dating comes. It's like a highly personalized approach. Is like it's going to eventually be able to edit the original text if I want to something that I would like better too. So it's like, well, Eric likes this. We can throw this in, so we can create some creativity. And from that one comic book, I can create an infinite number of content pieces that I can watch. And this is like, again, technology is a neutral thing. This is good, neither good nor bad. It simply is what it is. Like I could also just like spend all my days watching. I don't know. I like comics too, so I watch this dude named Comics Explained. So I could spend hours learning about comic books and all the different theories and all the different wormholes and all the different dimensions. But I can also use AI to my advantage. Like, hey, write me here's Marcus Aurelius Meditations. Do the exact same thing I did for the comic book, but give me a lesson plan that would help me download information. I could just scale that up too. So like, I really want to use that. And I think AI generated ads are going to get really good from a personalized approach. Again, like AI is already learning about us. I mean, us two in particular, like you host a podcast. I'm on the podcast. It's learning a bunch of, and again, a long form, hour long conversation. That's a great way for an AI to learn about a person because it's hard to produce this much volume of content unless we're just talking about it. So then I think AI generated ads are going to get really personalized in that sense too, because it knows what we're talking about. It's like, okay, these two people, I know they interact. Here's what I like, and like the data pattern recognition. Like I was saying, like with dating, it's like it knows me, it knows you. It's picking up stuff in between us. It can do that across platform too, just for ads or for anything. So how people want to use that, they use it. There'll be good ways, there'll be bad ways. I think it's gonna be interesting. The cool thing about AI is I think it. So I believe in the power of authenticity. So I think if I try to be you, I can't be you because you're the number one in the world at being you. If you try to be me, you can't be me because I'm the number one in the world at being me. And if we're trying to make as much money as we possibly can in a value creation system, the best way for me to do that is be my authentic self because then I'm number one in the world at that. No one can beat me at being that. And if AI is a way for me to leverage my natural talents, like to 10x or 100x my output, it's a way for me to quickly serve other people by following my authenticity. So, for example, like 50 years ago, I'm Filipino, so I use myself as an example. If I were born in the slums of the Philippines, like there's very little I can do. That's just kind of your life. It is what it is. But now, if I'm born in the slums of the Philippines, I have internet access. I can use, and I have a passion for e-commerce because I know Filipinos love their shoes and all that stuff. Like shoes are my passion. I can use AI to quickly create a website, create a logo, create copy, create email, and if that's something I'm actually passionate about, I can bring that idea into the real world quicker. And then it either succeeds, which is great. I'm doing what I love. It fails, well, then I learn something and try again. So I think that's where AI is really going to help people. Because like, it's not going to be just one thing. Like, oh, AI is going to be great at this. No, it's like your AI is going to be individually tailored as a support system for you, Bruno. It's going to be a support system for me. And the cool thing about AI too is like, oh, it's going to be like, everyone's like, oh, it'll take my jobs. It'll take some jobs, but it's not good at creativity. That's the thing. It still needs a human to prompt it. So I don't think it can copy your creativity. I can copy my creativity because it enhance our individual creativity. And then we can start spinning out stuff quicker. Like I'd imagine with AI, like you can probably make a better podcast now with AI. Like for example, you can probably clip it up better. You can probably get transcripts. You can probably do a bunch of stuff that just wasn't possible. And now you have more time to either pursue other creative endeavors or do more episodes or just have more free time. So it frees up time for you.
Why do you think it will just take some jobs and not all jobs? The way I see it, it will take everything. Unless you're like a trash collector or doing something extremely, what's the word? Manual. Like I would say most jobs will be gone in a few years.
I would say most jobs will be gone in a few years, but again, I think the nature of the universe is impermanence, meaning everything's changing. So when those jobs go away, I think new different jobs will take their place. And if anything, I think society will be much richer, where people will have to work less to provide a livelihood. Because imagine like if we're an abundance of resources, like abundance of food, abundance of content, abundance of good information, abundance of products and services, then people will simply have to work less to provide the same level of lifestyle. So like for me, like, let's say my job gets taken, okay, whatever. Then I have to find a new job that better fits my creativity. So like, let's say I have a soul crushing job. Like, let's say for me, if I were an accountant, I think I would not be happy. AI takes the accountant job when I have free time to learn a skill, to do something I actually want, to help to provide for myself. But that also relies on me of taking some initiative and picking up the skill too. So there will be jobs, but there will be jobs lost, but there will also be jobs gained.
I see. And even though we're gonna work less, we're still gonna earn more or less the same money. That's your okay.
I think the outputs will be increased, but the inputs will be decreased. So it's a combination of more stuff being created, less inputs being down. And honestly, if you want to work more, you can create more outputs. But me, I like to chill. So if I can create a lifestyle in 10 hours a week, that's fantastic for me. and I can do that because, like, let's say AI probably like 10x's to 100x's my personal output. So like, again, like now 10 hours is equivalent to 100 hours. So that's great for everyone.
Yeah, but it's not only for you, it's for everyone. So you need to imagine that everyone is like 100 times plus output. So my point is like there's gonna be so much content, so much things, so many products. Like it's gonna get even harder. I'm play devil's advocate for
Oh
you.
no.
There's
What,
gonna be so much stuff out there that it's gonna be hard for people to pick yours. Your product or your service, because everyone's gonna be doing something.
I won't notice that too. Like again, like I agree with you 100%. I'm making apps right now.
Mm.
The ShopX app, like as a crypto thing that cost us 2 years and like $2 million to make. Now someone can make it in a month in 30 days. So like there's going to be such a large portion of content too. So like
Mm.
you've seen video AI generated images. It's going to be a bombardment of content, a bombardment of product, a bombardment of everything, which is why I think the value is going to circle back to authentic content. So once people get tired of seeing so much authentic, like so much fake content, like, oh, this is another AI video, blah, 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 they're going to search content like this podcast because it's two people being authentic and talking. So I think it's going to circle back to authenticity. Whereas, yeah, there's going to be a bunch of products, but I think they'll naturally choose the product where the person actually cares and the person actually adds value. And then, like, honestly, it goes back. I think the progression of the web is so like web 1, web 2, web 3, web 4, web 5. So web 1, think of it as read only. So you can go online and you can read stuff, which is very helpful because that helped spread information. People got smarter. Web 2 is kind of, we're in like web 2.5 right now. It's like web 2 is you can read and write. So you can read content, you can write content. Think about think of Instagram. So I can write an Instagram post, you can read my post. The only issue with that is Instagram owns the post. So neither of us own that content. Instagram can cancel us for whatever reason they see fit. And this could retroactively apply. Like I could say something on this podcast that doesn't apply 10 years down the line. They could still X's both out. Web3 is a crypto-based internet, so it's read, write, and own. So you can read content, you can write content, but you also own the content. So like, I was saying, like, no one can take my Bitcoin away. With an NFT pass, no one could take my NFT pass away. Even if the brand doesn't like me, they can't take it away because it's my property. Web4, I think it's like that whole, if you've seen the movie Ready Player One, it's like
Yeah, it's great.
AI, VR, cryptocurrency, all thing, headsets, like all back in the, like just kind of people plugged into that. And I think Web 5 is, I think everyone has enough of that. They go outside, they hang out with their family, they go on hikes, they go fishing, they go swimming, and it goes back to like smaller, more, I guess, smaller town-based society. So I think everything spirals. I think things always function as spiral. So we start off with that, and we're going to end at that, but we're more like slightly about, we're kind of raised up because we have all the technology, but we just naturally choose to go, because like eventually you're just like, enough of this glasses, this dystopian society. I want to talk to a person. I want to go to the local marketplace versus go to Amazon. I want to get some sun. And the same thing applies for content. We're going to see so much content, so many, just a bombardment of AI products. How do you stand out? Authenticity, because you're the number one in the world at it. So like, if I want my product to stand out, how do I beat the millions and billions of AI generated products? Well, I have to do the one I'm personally best at because I'm number one, and if I'm number one, I'll win.
Yeah, man, I couldn't agree more. It's a great take. I was at the store here the other day in Germany. There's this store called Nanunana. For Germans, my buddy Germans, they know what I'm talking about. For some reason, Nanunana here in the city that I live, start playing this AI radio music. You just go in there. It's insufferable. I cannot stay 2 minutes in there. It's like this generic voice with generic like beat, 24 hours. It feels like my ears are bleeding. I was like, I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day. It's like, isn't that like insane? It's like unfortunately she was not even paying attention. I think some people don't mind, but I personally couldn't stay there.
No,
It was
I think
yeah.
it's, the thing is, it's just like, it's nothing content. Like it's just nothing. Like, so I view everything in terms of frequency. I view everything in terms of energy. I think everything is a frequency or vibration. So I think people are vibrating at a specific frequency. So I think, like, let's use emotions, for example. So you're saying I'm loving, I'm hateful, I'm peaceful, I'm happy. All those are specific frequencies. So just like a radio, so if you turn to a radio station, you get that frequency. So if I'm in the hating mindset, like I am on that hate frequency, I attract other hateful people in my life. But if I'm on a loving frequency, I'm on a loving mindset, I attract other loving people in my life. So I think it's important to go frequency. And I think that applies to products too. So like, I think products have frequency. Have you been to like a beautiful architecture thing, like in Spain or Europe, and you just feel nice? You
I
feel
feel
better.
lighter, yeah.
Yeah, you're not sure why. I think that's the frequency because they put their heart and soul into that thing. Whereas in nature, you feel lighter in nature, like a beautiful painting. It's like okay, this like the Mona Lisa, like whatever, most whatever to me, but like you look at the actual Mona Lisa. Okay, he tried very hard. It's very high frequency. I love this thing. Whereas if you can copy the Mona Lisa and just like we can look at the Mona Lisa. You can Google it right now. You just don't get anything about it because it's fake. There's no like heart and soul behind it. And I think the same thing applies to music, where it's like, oh, there's gonna be tons of music copies too, where it's like where they're just gonna generic music and like because when I see content that's AI on the internet, there's like, well, there's two types of content. Where AI knows the science, oh, that's kind of funny, or some no, even that's like people like I have friends who make AI video content, and it's actually pretty sick because to them it's also an art form. It's prompting it together. They have to do the right prompt. They have to put everything in the editor. They have to edit it. It takes a bunch of time for them to produce the AI content. So like, not all AI content is bad, but like when you see like the mass produced like garbage, and you're just like, get this out of my face. So that's how I feel about. I think that's how you felt about the music, like the music in the story. You're just like, what is? Let's just play something normal. And again, like that's why live. I'm personally circling back to live music. Like I've been going to more restaurants where they have live music specifically because they have live music. Because I'm like, this is way nicer. This is way better. And
Man, I think you hit the nail in the head. I think you're totally right. I think I'm just searching my feelings right now, right? Like Darth Vader would say to Luke, search your feelings. So I'm searching my feelings right now. And I think when I was at Nanuna now with this awful AI music playing, I think subconsciously I was just feeling I was being treated like shit, like I'm so unworthy and so unvaluable, or those people deem me to be so unvaluable and unworthy. They wouldn't even care of putting real music. Like I'm like worse than a dog for them. I'm just there for, I don't know, maybe those are the things that were going through my subconscious at the time.
no, the thing is like, because you did, and I realized this too. It's like you didn't know that was happening at the time. All you knew is like, this sucks. I don't know why this sucks. That is, but now you can kind of realize why. So what we're about to see is just a plethora of just all the corporations, all the major just bullshit content just blowing out there. And I think it's gonna, people like you and me are like, I'm tired of this, and they're gonna circle back to authentic content, which is why I like podcasts, which is I like going to the theater, I like doing stuff, because they're gonna get so bombarded with just like nothingness. Like, okay, I want something real. And that's where people who make real companies, real products, real things they actually like, I think people naturally gravitate that and want to support that. Even to like the eyes, they look exactly the same. It's like, you can tell when something's off. And again, like when you meet a fake person, you're just, even if they're saying like a politician, for example, like they're saying all the right things, but you're just like, no, I can pick up on this. Same thing applies to content and products, where it's like people like authenticity.
Yeah. Some of
those, which I like podcasts. Like you can't be inauthentic on like an hour-long conversation. It's hard to be. Yeah, you can't really do that. You just talk and see what comes up.
But man, some of those politicians are so charismatic, though. I don't know how they do it. Like, like I look at Obama. The way he speaks, and
he's good.
He's good. Like I wouldn't agree with him on a lot of his political views, but the way he presents himself and the way he talks, like I want to invite this guy for a barbecue.
Suave and just like the words just him spit, like again, like I'm whatever it's about it. Like I'm neutral about it, and I agree with something, I disagree with some things, but the way they rolled off his mouth was like, oh shit, all right. I don't like what you're saying, but I like the way you're saying it.
Exactly. The way you present something is very, very powerful. Eric, I have a question about Web 1, 2, 3. While you're talking about it, I think Web number 5 is basically people say, I'm tired of those headsets, I'm tired of those glasses, I want to go back to nature, I want to touch grass and see my friends. So it kind of feels like a cycle, right?
I think life is not in a circle, it's in a spiral.
Oh.
So it's not circling, because everything does seem like it's a circle, like everything kind of repeats itself, like a life-death cycle. It's spiraling up. So we'll start off with that, like go to like the point where like in time we were before Web 1, where we were all like caveman type stuff. So we'll be kind of more in nature, but we'll still have the benefits of the Web 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if we so choose. It just won't be as excessive as they are now. So like again, we'll go outside and stuff and do that, but we still, again, like I like outside, but I also like meeting you. So like we couldn't do that in previous Web 1, but now with Web 5, it's like, yeah, we spend our time inside, but if we want a conversation with a chill guy across the globe, we can do that. So we get the benefits. We're just not, you have to go to I think you have to go through that phase where you're just like, imagine like, I don't know, I was watching King of the Hill, or we can use it. There's a scene in King of the Hill where Bobby Hill gets into smoking, and the dad's like, all right, you think smoking's cool, dude? Actually, my dad did this too. He's like, you think smoking's cool? It's like, we're going to smoke this whole pack. And then eventually he was like, all right. And then he was like, oh, this is just terrible. And then I think you have to go through that with technology. So that's why, sometimes you'll just see a bunch of AI content dribble, a bunch of AI this, crypto this, VR this, AR this. And you're just like, I don't know. I just kind of want to chill at the pub. But you have to get through that. You have to get bombarded with that. And then to do that, you kind of figure out what works for you, what doesn't, and kind of integrate that in your life.
But what if, just imagine for a second, what if Web 5.0 is so realistic and so undistinguishable from reality that chilling at the pub in that virtual reality environment feels as realistic or as immersive in real life? Wouldn't you think that most people would prefer to be there, and over time would be creating a simulated reality where most people would prefer to stay there, and then by consequence you're creating the Matrix?
Yeah, no, if that were the case, I think I think that will definitely be an option, because for example, the AI video content in the future I foresee is it's going to get so realistic that it's indistinguishable from real video content. And that I think that's a tipping point where people are like, oh, I'm kind of over AI content because you guys don't know what's real and fake. So if that's the future and that's what some people choose, I think that's good for them. I think everyone should have their own free choice. But I also believe in energies. I think you can pick up on something. You can, like, when you hang out with some person, your energies interact differently than they would in a virtual screen. And then that's somewhat of a chemical reaction, which is why I love hanging out with my friends so much, because I don't know, like you can hang out with your friends and just do nothing. I think that's because your energies are mixing, your vibes mixing, you're all just kind of mixing together and feeling each other out. I think that's really hard to replicate in the digital space. But if that's how it is, then that's how it is.
Yeah.
Like I think we would have a better podcast if we were in the same. Not first off, I think we're crushing this podcast. But like if we were in the same room, it'd be different than it is right now. The same would apply if we're in like some simulated room. If we were physically in the same room, I think it would be different. It'd be different if we were in the physics. It'd be different than if we were just like no photos. Was different than us doing it right now with like videos on. Would be different than like a perfectly simulated room. Would be different than a actual room that we're in together.
Yeah. Makes the environment totally affects the quality. That's for sure. Yeah. All right, Eric. Thank you so much, man. It was a pleasure getting to know you. I'd like to ask, do you have any final message, any final remarks for the audience?
Yeah, so I think everyone is a conscious creator, whether they know it or not. So when you're creating, just don't harm anyone and don't take anything away from anyone. If you follow those two rules, you should be chilling.
All right. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, you too, man.
Okay, everyone, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment to participate in next month's giveaway. See you then. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. If it's your first time watching the show, make sure to like and subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please rank the show 5 stars. This will ensure that the podcast is recommended to even more people and allow me to keep doing what I love. Check out now the Brewcast store, Explore store, filled with awesome goodies from hoodies to t-shirts to mugs. We've got you covered. Stay in style with Brewcast. Embrace the shock, set the trend. Buy now at brew-cast.com/store. Again, that's brew-cast.com/store. Link on the description below. Be a Brewcast model and get free stuff. We'd love to see how you and your loved ones enjoy Brewcast. Snap a picture of yourself, your family, your friends, or even your pets wearing Brewcast merch, or watching an episode of the show, and send it to us and become part of Brewcast. We'll feature you and your pictures at the end of every episode, just like the ones you're seeing on screen right now. You can upload your pictures at brew-cast.com/contact or tag us on social media. Alright everyone, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much and see you next time. Bye bye.